Welcome to Conversations Below the Surface, the CBS Podcast Shorts. I am your host, Marcus Gentry, and we hope you enjoy this episode. I'm doing this in 3 parts because there's so much content with this that I want to share. And the first one is for the females, actually the little girls that are out there inside of the women who are listening. The second one will be for the little boys out there inside of the men who are listening. And the third part will be for both of them together. And it's called What Daddy Would Have Said. See, I'm doing this because there's a lot of men and women out there who did not have a daddy in the home who loved and could give them hugs. And they may have had a male in the house, may have had a father, but he may not have been emotionally capable of giving them that feel. And there's something missing when you haven't had a daddy's love, not just for the boys, but for the girls as well. So this one is first for the little girls inside the women who's out there. And it's called What Daddy Would Have Said. So what Daddy would have said is, just because you get someone's attention doesn't mean that you've got their respect. I don't want you to grow up focusing on just getting noticed. Men are attracted to what they see. And if all they're attracted to is something that you have shown them physically, then that can be lost the minute they see something else shiny. So don't spend your time just trying to get noticed. The second one is this: your greatest worth is in your core values, the values that you choose to live by, not what you possess, not what you do. Those things can be taken from you at any point, in an instant. But the core values that you live for, that have been created because of the inside work that you've done, can't be taken from you. And those values then dictate how you carry yourself. So when you walk into a room, the way that you carry yourself will announce you and speak louder than anything you're carrying or anything that you're wearing. Just like the expression goes, pretty is as pretty does. And the third thing that Daddy would have said to you is this: you may not look like someone else describes as beautiful or society says is beautiful, but you're beautiful as you are. You may not be liked by some people that you wished would like you. And maybe missing those 2 things has caused you to have some doubts in who you are. But what Daddy would have said is, you are uniquely beautiful just as you are. And it's okay for you to be you. And I love you. This is part 2 of What Daddy Would Have Said. This one is for the little boys inside of the men. But the women who are out there who are raising little boys, these messages can apply for them also. So what Daddy would have said is, just because you can make a baby, that does not make you a man. Regardless of what you have heard on the internet or see on TV or hear in music, making babies does not make you a man. And I'm going to add to that, making money does not make you a man. Here's something else. When you get ready to choose your life partner, find out about their upbringing. Because even though you may not realize it, how a person was raised makes a big difference in their outlook on life many times. So give that some thought when you're choosing that partner. Now, these next 3 things I'm going to tell you is extremely important. The first one is meet your challenges. Now, I can guarantee you there's going to be some challenges that you're going to have as you grow older. You're going to have challenges with health at some point, challenges with finances, challenges with relationships. You might even have a challenge trying to make a moral decision, which way is right and which way is wrong. Those challenges are going to come. I want you to have the courage to meet those challenges head on, face to face. You cannot manage what you don't monitor. You won't manage it if you run from it. So if you're going to be a man, you got to be willing to meet your challenges. The second thing is accept your responsibilities. In other words, let your word be your bond. Let people know you as being someone, if he says something, you can count on that being done. And it doesn't matter what you sign up for, whatever you agree to, take responsibility for that. If you're an employee, be that employee. If you're an employer, if you're an entrepreneur, if you make a promise to a stranger, let your word be your bond. Accept your responsibility. Third, never let anyone or anything keep you down. Now, I didn't say never let anything get you down, because there's going to be some things in life that will knock the wind right out of you. So you have got to learn how to bounce back. You've got to learn how to become resilient, even when it's difficult to do that. And all those things, the real test comes when it's difficult. Anybody can meet challenges and accept responsibilities when it's easy. It's when it's difficult that it really counts. And when nobody is even watching. How do you show up? So, what Daddy would have said is meet your challenges, accept your responsibilities, and never let anyone or anything keep you down. Let your word be your bond. Part one was for the little girls inside of the women who are out there who maybe did not have a daddy at home, to share certain messages with them. The second one was for the little boys inside of the men who was also missing the presence of a daddy. This one is for both the boys and the girls inside of the men and women. This is what Daddy would have said. It is important that you, as you grow through life and go through life, that you get a supreme education. I'm not talking about the education that you will likely get in the classroom. It's an education that comes from people who have experienced life. That means knowing how to properly feed, clothe, shelter, and protect yourself in any situation. That's what supreme education looks like, my child. The first one is feeding. Of course, it will be easy for you to feed yourself when you have plenty of money and you can buy whatever you want. But do you know how to feed yourself when you have limited resources? Do you know where to shop? Do you know what to put in the shopping cart? What to take out of the shopping cart? What can you buy that will stretch and last for a long time? Once you know how to feed yourself properly, then you will know how to feed a significant other that you bring into your life. You'll know how to feed a family once you know how to feed yourself properly. And that's the physical part. But what about feeding yourself mentally? Do you know how to feed yourself mentally? What will you consume? What will that diet look like on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? Are you feeding yourself properly? Supreme education means that you know how to do that, and then you will be able to feed those who you bring into your home as well as your family. And the next one is, do you know how to clothe yourself properly in any environment, in any season? And I am not just talking about the seasons of winter, spring, summer, and fall. I'm talking about the seasons that you're going through in life. If you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to dress for success, do you, as a young boy growing into a man, and as a woman, do you know how to properly dress so that you can make sure that your presentation represents what you want that to be? People will receive you as they perceive you. Be conscious of how you clothe yourself for success. The third area is shelter. Knowing how to shelter yourself in any environment. That means doing something that I don't hear very often anymore, and that's knowing how to keep house. Provide a good, clean, healthy shelter. Does not mean that you will have to buy the most expensive things, but make sure that what you have is clean and in order and, as some would say, well arranged. Do you know how to keep house? And this goes for the young boys who are growing to be men, and for the young girls who are growing to be women. Do you know how to take care of a home? The necessary things are This is important so that you won't have to be overly dependent on someone else to do this for you. And the last one is knowing how to protect yourself. When you know how to physically protect yourself, you move with a different sort of confidence, not as a bully or in a disrespectful manner, but you can just move with a certain sort of confidence when you physically are fit and able to take care of yourself. That's physically, and of course, I've got to include mentally as well. Do you know how to protect yourself from those who would be emotional predators, who will take advantage of you if they can? The world is not filled with that, but there are some that are out there, and you will have to know how to set boundaries to protect yourself so that you can grow and become stronger as a man, as a woman, and also how to protect those who you love, including your family. There is so much more that can be shared with all of these pieces of supreme education, but this is just a few of the nuggets that Daddy would have said. Thank you for listening to this CBS Podcast Short. If you would like to hear more on this topic, please email me at respect@marcusgentry.com. And don't forget to check back for new episodes.